In continuation of talking about various business segments regarding data privacy, personal data handling, let's talk about e-commerce. E-commerce sites capture a lot of personal data for their customers, and e-commerce is a very big segment now, right? Everything that you want, you can get it on online. Welcome to my YouTube channel where you daily see new content on data privacy. And as I said, we're going to talk about some of the challenges of e-commerce companies. What are the kind of data they collect? Very basic, personal data. So when we are talking of privacy, we are talking of personal data. They're very basic personal data. PII is the name, age, and contact information of the customer. It has to be there. Else you can't deliver the goods. You need their address, their phone number, etc. But also the transactional data. So e-commerce portal would know what all are you purchasing, what are the details of your orders. They would know how are you making payments, right? Your credit card information, your net banking information. Net banking information at least lets me know what bankers are you working with. Your behavioral data, like your browsing patterns, your wish list, what is it that you want to buy, and then your preferences, right? What kind of things you purchase? What are the time slots in which you buy things? So, are you generally keeping yourself available at night or during the day for purchasing? And what kind of things you use? Maybe food preferences, maybe the other household item preferences, like the brands and other things, clothes. What are the sources of these data collections? There are e-commerce marketplaces, the aggregators, the larger ones. You have Amazons and Flipkart, etc., where you can buy any of the products. You search the name or type of the product you're looking for, and you get the options, and you choose one. The direct customer portals where you know what you want to buy, and you know it's a brand shop, for example. So you want to buy a Titan product, you go to Titan. Titan will give you all their jewelry, but it is not a marketplace where you'll get all jewelries of all brands. Right? And then you have social websites. You are browsing through a Facebook or a LinkedIn and you get an ad and you click there and you go to the respective portal. You even buy online from these portals directly. For example, LinkedIn would have courses and for Facebook would host certain small these workshops, etc. You buy from there, and all of them would need to capture your payment details. What payment gateway are you using? And payment gateways and payment applications are another source of collecting personal data with the e-commerce segment. Segment includes the fact, very common thing. 5, 6 important common things that privacy leads to. First one, of course, unauthorized data sharing. The portal, the marketplace, not all the established ones, but there are still a lot more smaller ones who would love to share your personal data with others. They would love to sell your personal data to others because that would give them some revenue and because they would use those details for marketing, advertising, right? It's very useful for advertisers that they get your personal data, and it helps build up the social media targeted ads. IT security needs to be very robust. Not all of them have it, right? Again, forget about the very big established ones, but not all of them are able to maintain proper confidentiality, integrity, and availability of their platforms. And they have to regularly upgrade IT equipment. And I know many of them who are still running on equipments 8 years old, 10 years old, not upgrading IT equipment, forget about upgrading the firmwares because there are no firmwares for old hardware. Customer profiling is AI based, right? So AI driven recommendations tracking the user interaction is again a without consent kind of a situation. Other risk includes the biggest one, consent mechanism. Do all of them have real good consent capturing process? No, they don't, right? Consent in case of e-commerce is a longer process. You have products, you have product categories, you have payment gateways, you have your personal information, you have your preference information. So you need to, if you really want to use any of them. For example, you're saying, I'll use your email ID for marketing. So I take a consent. Good. Now you're saying I will use your preferences to market you specific products. Or I would share your preferences with third parties, which will help me market products back to you. So then you need to get consent for that, right? Because you are picking up another part of my personal information. You may have a single line saying that I can use your preferences and your email ID and your phone number, share it with third parties so that they can help me market new products to you and send you new offers. That's one way of doing it. Ideally, you should put in a granular one, more detailed one that would make your business better and your privacy risks reduced. And because you are on web, then cookie consent and cookie policies are very, very important. Right? They need to be there in a well-defined system. So these are the few key privacy risks when it comes to e-commerce. Then what are their challenges as an e-commerce business? What challenges they face? What about retaining data? How long would they retain data? Data of whom? Customer. When you talk of customer data, not only his address, phone number, but his preferences. What all items has he put in mind? What are the transaction details? We saw that on the first slide, right? What are his transaction details, payment gateways, preferences, browsing histories. So for how long do you retain this data? You need a lot of secure storage for it. For example, DPDP Act says 3 years from the last transaction, right? So you are retaining it only for 3 years from the last transaction, and then you are saying I'm deleting it. But you need to have a very well defined policy of deleting because it's a huge database which has multiple tables, right? Which have records of a particular customer, linking them with items, linking them with preference items. So a very, very clear strategy has to be defined around it. A lot of third parties involved. The logistics team may not be internal. The marketing team may not be internal, right? Payment gateways, depending on the size of the portal, may not be internal. So the e-commerce companies need to have very strict contracts with each of these business types. And the regulatory complexity, where they are already using IT, now we are into privacy compliances, and because commercials are involved, RBI compliance also comes into place. So that's about the basic challenges and risks that our e-commerce online retailer has. I hope you like the content of the video. Please press the bell and the like icon. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and share your feedback in the comment section. Thank you.